All right, guys, in this video, we're going to be exploring a fun topic of, did the NSA create Bitcoin? And is David Schwartz involved? All right, let's start with this clip. So this is a clip from an early Bitcoin adopter, Vinci Jeremy, who believes that Satoshi worked for the NSA. Now, if you don't know, Satoshi is the name of the person who created Bitcoin. It was created anonymously, and people don't even know to this day whether or not it was a single person or if it was a group. And that's part of what we're going to get into later in the video. But he believed that Satoshi worked for the NSA, and a security clearance gave him the knowledge to develop Bitcoin without leaving any backdoors for the government. So let's go ahead and play this real quick.
Based on what I learned about the source code, it was created by somebody in the NSA. The evidence of that is the randomizer. And so there's lots of a certified method that's stated that they don't have any backdoors. They've been checked and rechecked, and they're certified to not have any backdoors. Yet Satoshi didn't use any of them, all the certified methods. He used this obscure method, which wasn't certified. And a lot of developers scratched their head until Snowden. When he released that, oh yeah, the NSA had backdoors to all the certified randomizers. With enough data, they could actually reproduce the random number that you actually chose. So,
okay. I mean, they can they can break codes.
Technically, they can break
all the securities.
Get your Bitcoin basically. But Satoshi chose the one randomizer. They didn't have a backdoor. How is that possible? Did he get lucky? I don't think so.
So Satoshi chose the one randomizer for code that did not have an NSA backdoor. What are the chances of that? And I want to say I give this guy props for even speaking out about this as a Bitcoin holder, because most people who hold Bitcoin do not want to entertain the idea that the government might be behind it, because the Bitcoin maxis are usually anti-government, anti-establishment, like most of us are, right? But at the same time, they're also thinking Bitcoin's going to replace gold and some of these other interesting things that, we've talked about on this channel. But Bitcoin, typically, Bitcoin investors do not want to even entertain the idea that it could be anything from the government. So I give this guy props. Now let's scroll down and look at one of the top comments here. So this is from Ido Farina. I think that's how you say it. Guess who's a former NSA employee and an early Bitcoin developer? David Schwartz, one of the architects of the XRP ledger. And then I think he's referring to the guy in the video, but he says here, he's such a hypocrite, ignoring the facts and constantly hating on XRP. Bitcoin is just a prototype. I'm not sure if he's this guy hating on XRP or what, but yes, I do believe too, Bitcoin was just a prototype. And if we look at David Schwartz's bio on the Ripple website, it even says he was in the NSA. So this is not a theory. This is not, some kind of conspiracy. This is public information. David Schwartz has talked about his time in the NSA, developing code and cybersecurity, cryptography, I should say. So we already know, that David worked there, and we know that David also, and let me share my screen here. I got to switch browsers. David also created a patent for essentially a distributed ledger technology back in 1988. So this is the actual patents, the actual patent on Google, patents.google.com/502 blah, blah, blah. You can go find it for yourself. And you can see in the abstract, it says, and first off, inventor David Schwartz. So this is really him. 1988 in the US. Abstract, a multi-level distributed computer system for distributed processing preferably includes a plurality of personal computers. A task inputted to the system is divided into a plurality of portions. As many of the portions as possible are distributed for processing on the lowest level of the system. Those portions unprocessed on the lowest level are distributed for processing on the next lowest level. Remaining unprocessed portions of the task are distributed to available computers on successively higher levels in the system until all the tasks have been distributed for processing. So he's describing a distributed network, a distributed computer system, basically what would be the foundations for distributed ledger technology, which is essentially what blockchain is. Blockchain is a kind of distributed ledger technology. And this is 1988, okay? And Bitcoin was not created until I believe it's 2010. So that is multiple decades of time, 21 years, more than 20 years, 30 years, sorry. Or no, it is 20. Yeah, from 1988, it's basically 1990. That is significant. So, some interesting things going on here, right? Now, let me share something else with you. Ripple CTO hints at Satoshi Nakamoto's identity and reason for enormous wealth untouched. So this is something that's actually been brought up to David Schwartz. He has had discussions with people around if he is Satoshi or not, and he's always had very interesting answers. Now, up front, he has denied it, and here they're talking about Satoshi possibly being a group of people instead of a single person. Most people assume Satoshi Nakamoto, single person. Likely it was actually a group of people, which would make sense if it was the NSA or another similar agency. So this person says, they're talking about like why haven't the accounts, I think, been accessed? Why is that, large amount of Bitcoin on the original wallet unaccessed? And he gives the idea that, it could have been a group of people and maybe some of them died, leaving the remainder unable to access the keys. So, this also, the idea of it being a group correlates with what we've heard from individuals at the Department of Homeland Security. There's actually a clip that has been popularized by, I believe, Digital Asset Investor, where a member of Homeland Security, I think it was at some kind of conference or something, but they're on recording saying that they, I forget what year, but sometime between when Bitcoin was created and now, sometime around the middle of then, 5-ish years ago, they sent out or sorry, not 5-ish years ago, maybe like 10-ish years ago, they sent out a group of people, or maybe it was just an individual, but somebody from Department of Homeland Security went and met with what they specifically said was the 4 Satoshis. So there's a clip of Homeland Security saying Satoshi is 4 people. And there are a lot of directions you could go with this. I'm going to try to keep this video more concise, and in future videos, we can expand a little more if you guys want to. But finally, I'm going to share one more link with you here. And this says Ripple CTO David Schwartz says he could have been part of Satoshi. Okay. And so he's actually entertained it. And I couldn't find this specific clip, or sorry, this actually says he could have. Oh yeah, it does say he could have. I wanted to make sure it says he could not have. Let's see. David Schwartz, CTO, claims that he might have been a member of Satoshi, but that he only became aware of it in 2011. Yeah. So it is he was attempting to disprove it, saying Bitcoin came out in 2010. He only heard about it in 2011, but I have seen him say elsewhere, and I could not find the screenshot of it, but I've seen somebody ask him, if you really were Satoshi, would you admit it? And he said something like, probably not. I probably would not admit it. So very much, kind of reading between the lines of what's going on here. Do we know 100%? No, we don't. But, all signs point to Bitcoin coming from the NSA, from somewhere within the government. DHS went out and interviewed them. So we know that. We know David Schwartz worked for the NSA. We also know that around the time that he worked for the NSA, he came up with what would become blockchain distributed ledger technology well before Satoshi was ever around. And then the David Schwartz and the team of people that he was working with to create XRP, they said that they were trying to create a better Bitcoin. XRP was intended to be what Bitcoin could be without its limitations. So Bitcoin is a prototype. XRP is what Bitcoin essentially would evolve into after they flushed out all of the kinks in the hose. So you make a call. Let me know what you think down below. Is David Schwartz Satoshi? Who is Satoshi, if not David Schwartz? And do you think the NSA was involved with the creation of Bitcoin? Click subscribe, hit the like button if this was valuable to you. And if you're a new crypto investor or just getting started and you're ready to take your journey more seriously, I run a school called the Conscious Crypto Academy, and we're going to be launching a new container in just a few weeks here, where we're going to be taking a group of students through the beginning to the end, walking them through the fundamentals, how to set up their exchange accounts, how to set up their private wallets, how to transfer, make payments, and then how to generate decentralized passive income through staking, yield farming, and other various forms of interest generation. So if that interests you and you feel called to being in a group container, in a support group, and having a coach to help you further your crypto journey and get where you want to be quicker, then I'd love to have you in our container. You can click the link down below to learn more about that, and I hope to see you there. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care.